Good morning, everybody. Being a little bit after 10, we'll go ahead and get the Muncie Sanitary District meeting open. We'll open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not to disappoint anybody, I'll make my comment. Please remember that all the service people are out there today defending our country and who have given up their lives so we have this liberty and independence. Thank you. The first item on the agenda officially is the consider the approval of the minutes of the March 6, 2014 meeting.
I would move that we accept the minutes as presented.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I wasn't there.
I'll second the motion. Mr. Klein wasn't here, so I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next item is to consider register of claims totaling $1,697,000, $608.13.
Mr. President, I've read through the claims. I'd move approval.
I will second that.
We have a first, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Under old business, we don't have any old business listed. Under new business, we are going to consider a declaratory resolution 2014-01, and we have Costa here today from DeVault LLP. And I understand, I just found out you're a local Burris graduate.
I am. I'm a Burris
Well, congratulations. Welcome back to us.
I am a Burris brat. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, I grew up down on Dill Street. So I was actually on, as I leave, I always make it, well, actually, Dill Street and Nebo Road.
Okay. All right. Very good.
You know.
Make a tour through there and check it out.
Yeah, whenever I gotta tell my folks I was back in town, so I was there, and they always go, so how's the old house looking? So, gotta do it.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad to have you back.
Good to be back, yeah. Yeah, so what you have before you is a declaratory resolution. State statute provides, and it's connected with the downtown drainage and stormwater project that you'll be considering, and that at, I believe, your April meeting, you'll be considering a bond resolution, also a confirmatory resolution. So this is all wrapped into a statutory process that is required. The declaratory resolution is simply that. It is essentially, if you will, a public declaration that you are considering to do a project. The project that we have is a not to exceed $10 million amount. It might be less. And if for some reason that needs to be changed or tweaked, that can be done so in the confirmatory. But this is a declaration, and then what this once and should you adopt this would trigger our ability to publish a public notice. And then you actually, when you have the confirmatory resolution, which would be very similar to one you have before you, people will have the ability to make any comments, and there'll be a public meeting. So this is that simple
It sets
process.
up that whole.
It just sets it up as part of the statutory process, correct?
Very, very good.
Yep.
Very good. Joe, do you have any questions with this? Mike, do you want to explain a little bit of what the project is going to be doing a little bit more?
I think this is going to be a significant project. We're going to significantly upgrade the drainage infrastructure of the downtown area. We're going to go from, for example, on High Street, from an 18-inch pipe to a 84-inch pipe. And it'll set us up to separate the combined sewage out of downtown also. So once we get the bids from the contractors on the project, we'll reassess what the final bond amount will be. But it'll be paid out of stormwater utility revenue.
Would it be safe to say that the hotel probably could not be built without this?
The development, that whole development and that arc area will be the upper reaches of this system. But no, that you're going from maybe a 6-month storm to a 50-year storm capacity here.
And I know that the Horizon Center's basement has had flooding for years, along with the old Roberts Hotel. So this will help clear that up too. Very, very, very important project, very well needed, and appreciate your help putting this together.
Sure. Just one other comment, and maybe you have it corrected in your version. The version I have, I don't. In section 4, I believe that the meeting was originally your April meeting was set for the 17th, but I believe it's going to be set for the 16th. So if you could just correct that update to make it, rather than April 17th, April 16th.
Very good.
I would just appreciate that, and we can go from there.
Very good. Okay, so with no further questions, do I have a motion to pass Resolution 2014-01?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the public comments. Anybody in the audience like to come forward and make some comments?
I would. Actually, I have a few questions.
Well, wait till you get to the mic, John.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry about that, Bill. John Hampton, 2304 North Benton Road, Muncie, Indiana. I have a few questions that I'm sorry, I apologize about the dark glasses. I left my other ones in my backpack on the street, so apologize for that.
Actually, I'm, from the 50s and 60s. I think you're kind of cool with those
I
things.
appreciate
so,
that,
right?
Bill. I think, yeah, I noticed this looking
Yeah,
good. This
I'm
looking good.
starting to get back to that.
Okay, great, great. The questions I have and comments, number one, and I understand the policy of answering these questions at the next meeting, so if I can't have my answers today, I'll be glad to get them next time. What's the job of the new employee in the billing office? That's question one.
I can answer that.
Okay, fine.
That's a temporary position that we're doing the transition to change to a monthly billing, and it's just not an employee, it's a contract employee from one of the agencies, and that would be a temporary position that would be eliminated probably, and I don't want to say exactly when, but in the near future.
Okay.
So I can answer that
Just
one.
wondering. I've noticed in my work with SOS that the billing office, or the computer system, I shouldn't say, I'm not blaming anyone personally for this, has a tendency to assess penalties that are not earned. And this is a recurring thing. We get it corrected when we catch it, but we can't catch every one. And when people call them to our attention, or we see them when we're reviewing their records, we try to get it corrected, but it is a recurring problem. We find penalties anywhere from $1.50 to, I found one the other day for $51.88 that had no relationship to any payment or any delinquent
That could
payment
get somebody's
made.
attention, couldn't it?
What's that?
That should get somebody's attention.
It got my attention.
Yeah,
It got my
I-
attention,
yeah,
and it got the attention of the person we were dealing with too. It was like, where'd this
That's what I
$51
mean.
from?
Sure.
So that's something we need to address.
Absolutely.
Also, we have a problem with payments that SOS is turning in to the billing office where they're being applied. When someone signs an agreement and that agreement says their payments are to go to their past due accounts, that's where it should go.
Sure.
What's been happening is they're assigned pretty much wherever. I don't understand the logic of where they're applied. I do think the correction.
I know the software at this point in time, unless we absolutely catch it, and I think we're going to start taking all the payments, John, in the future, and we'll talk about that. But I believe what happened is the software always applies it to the oldest bill.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It does not.
Well, then
It
let me go
does
back
not.
to originally say you're right. I can't give you the answer on that,
Okay, all right, all right.
but we will find out.
Okay. The other thing is that there has been a lag time. We take a payment at SOS, and this probably relates to the penalty issue too. And sometimes that penalty is, that payment is not applied for 3 or 4 days, taking them over their due date and, bringing about a penalty. And so I'm kind of wondering, why is there a lag time, especially on credit card payments? Because it exists with credit card payments too, which should be immediate.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a software bill, or maybe,
Well,
I don't know what other answer would be.
No,
but-
this is a new software system, so these bugs may be there. And
Okay.
but you're saying that there's a delay from the time a credit card is ran.
Sometimes up to 4 days,
Well, okay.
okay? Also, even when whatever they pay at SOS should be credited for the day they pay it at SOS as if it was paid here. And that's not happening either.
Well, again, we'll get into that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, those are the issues I wanted to bring up to the board.
Yeah, in fact, we've been very diligent in SOS and the district working together to make sure that we comply with all the laws. I think, Mike, you were definitely sitting in with the Board of Accounts from the beginning, that any payment that we got was applied and deposited within 24 hours.
Well, that's the problem, one of the problems we run into is that there's a state law that says money not deposited within a certain amount of time after it's received is a felony, and we're running into things that has not happened, not since 2000, since SOS has been doing it, but previous 4 years, money was held onto for weeks and months and sometimes forever, I guess, and not deposited in a timely fashion. So we're running in, and the only time that, my understanding, I'm not there day to day, but when people catch that is, for instance, if they apply for credit and they see a judgment on there that they have already paid 4 years ago, that's how we find it, because there's just so many cases. So it's real touch and go there on that. And so what we do is any money we receive, we do a daily report. We turn that in daily. I think what he's referring to, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, is that when you take a credit card, it's deposited automatically into a MSD account right away.
Yeah, MSD is actually the account holder of
Yeah.
the credit
Yes,
card
there's no-
system.
But what
So
you're saying is-
I don't understand
but-
why there's a delay.
So when it goes onto the credit card, what you're saying is it doesn't credit onto our account that same day?
There's a
That's
what-
right, there's a
I
lag time.
understand-
So-
I understand
And I've
I
seen
understand the
a
situation.
lag time of up to 4 days.
Yeah, I don't know, but obviously
Okay.
that's not right.
No.
So we'll,
You know, and
we'll get on that, John,
I
thanks.
mean, there's probably obviously going to be a lag time of a day or so, but, I don't, because someone's got to get that information and transfer it over to the software. So, but I agree that it should be date back, if they do that, let's just say, I don't even think there's a problem, there's a lag time of a week, but they shouldn't be penalized for that week. I think it's your point. It
Yeah,
should be.
that actually is my point. If there's a lag time in the software, that's fine, but you shouldn't assess someone a penalty when they've made their best effort and come in, made their payment
No,
on time. And then it
absolutely.
just, software is
Could-
not an excuse for them being
couldn't-
assessed a penalty.
Could not agree more with you,
It's not the
John.
lag time, it's the penalty.
It's the penalty, right. It's not the lag time, it's the penalty.
You get so
exactly.
many of these, they can only do so much down there, I guess,
Right.
and so they just need to backdate it to the dates they actually paid it.
Right.
I think it's your point, right?
Yes, that is my point. That's really all I have, guys.
Thank you. Hey, very, very informative. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bill.
Anybody else in the audience have any comments? Anybody want to come forth? No? Okay, with that, with no further comments from the audience, we will close the meeting. Our next scheduled meeting will be April 3rd, same place, same time, 10 o'clock, right here. Thank you, everybody.